Welcome to the Madison Miller Podcast. Today is Friday, October 9th, 2020. Today I'm going to go over yesterday's Major League Baseball divisional round games, look ahead to today, and a little bit of the weekend. NBA Finals, game number 5, and a possible game 6. College football and NFL from last night, and looking ahead to the weekend and with the picks. NHL free agency begins today. The Titans' COVID situation, the updated NFL schedule. We'll preview and pick the NASCAR races for the weekend and my Fab 5 picks along with my best bet for today. We'll start with the baseball and the divisional round. 4 games yesterday. All of them were not that interesting, to be quite honest. Braves over the Marlins 7-0, and I mean that in terms of none of them were that close. As Braves go on to the NLCS, Kyle Wright the win, Sixto Sanchez the loss. Top of the third, RBI single, Marcell Ozuna, 1-0 Braves. 2-run double, Travis d'Arnaud, 3-0 Braves. Sac fly, Dansby Swanson, 4-0 Braves. Top of the fourth, RBI single, Freddie Freeman, 5-0 Braves. RBI single, Dansby Swanson, 6-0 Braves. And RBI double, Adam Duvall, 7-0 Braves. Kyle Wright, 6 innings, 3 hits, no one runs, 2 walks, 7 strikeouts. AJ Minter for an inning. Then Jacob Webb for an inning. Then Shane Green for an inning. Sixto Sanchez, 3 innings, 4 hits, 4 runs, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts. Then Trevor Rogers went an inning and 2/3. Then James Hoyt went a third. Then Yimi Garcia, Ryan Stanton, Brian Boxberger, and Nick Vincent. Astros over the Athletics 11-6 to advance to the ALCS for the 4th straight season and the 5th time in 6 years. Christian Javier with the win, Frankie Montas the loss. Top of the second, 3-run shot, Ramon Laureano, 3-0 A's. Bottom of the fourth, 2-run shot, Michael Brantley, 3-2. 3-run shot, Carlos Correa, 5-3. Top of the fifth, Ramon Laureano again made it 5-4. Bottom of the fifth, Brantley again, 6-4. RBI single, Carlos Correa, 7-4. RBI single, Kyle Tucker, 8-4. RBI single, Carlos Correa, 9-4. In the bottom of the seventh, 2-run shot, Jose Altuve, 11-4. Top of the ninth, RBI single, Marcus Semien, 11-5. And infield single, Tommy La Stella, 11-6. Zach Greinke, 4 2/3, 5 hits, 4 runs, a walk, 4 strikeouts. Blake Taylor went a third. Christian Javier went 2 1/3, scoreless. Then Enoli Paredes went 2/3, and then Ryan Presley went in the final inning and did not look that good. Frankie Montas, 3 2/3, 7 hits, 5 runs, a walk, 3 strikeouts. Then J.B. Wendelken for a third, Mike Minor for 2/3, Lou Trevino for a third, Joaquin Soria for 1, Jake Deitman for 1, and T.J. McFarland for 1. Yankees over the Rays 5-1 to advance, or not advance, but to force a Game 5. Chad Green the win, Ryan Thompson the loss, Aroldis Chapman the save. Bottom of the second, home run, Luke Voigt, 1-0. Sac fly, DJ LeMahieu, 2-0. Top of the third, infield, not infield single, grounders in the fielder's choice, Brandon Lau, 2-1. Bottom of the sixth, 2-run shot, Gleyber Torres makes it 4-1. Bottom of the eighth, RBI single, Kyle Higashioka, 5-1. That's your final. Jordan Montgomery, 4 innings, 3 hits, and a run, 3 walks, 4 strikeouts. Then Chad Green for 2, Zach Britton for an inning and 2/3, and Chapman for an inning and a third. Ryan Thompson, an inning and 2/3, 2 hits, 2 runs, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts. Ryan Yarbrough went 5, and then Aaron Slagers for an inning and a third. Dodgers over the Padres 12-3 to advance to the NLCS. Julio Urias with the win, Adrian Morejon the loss. Top of the second, fielder's choice, Cody Bellinger, 1-0. Bottom of the second, bases loaded walk, Jake Cronenworth, 1-1. RBI single, Trent Grisham, 2-1. Top of the third, infield single, Corey Seager, 2-2. RBI single, Justin Turner, 3-2. RBI single, AJ Pollock, 4-2. 2-run single, Jock Peterson, 6-2. Top of the fourth, RBI single, Will Smith, 7-2. Top of the fifth, sac fly, Mookie Betts, 8-2. Bottom of the sixth, Bullock, 8-3. As Manny Machado scored, and Eric Hosmer went the third. Top of the ninth, 2-run double Will Smith 10-3, and 2-run triple Cody Bellinger 12-3, and that was it. As the Dodgers advanced to their 4th NLCS in a 5-year span. Dustin May went an inning and struck out 1 and walked 1. Adam Kolarek went 2/3, gave up 2 earned runs. Julio Urias for 5, Blake Trinan for a third, Pedro Baez for 1, and Dylan Floro for 1. Padres used everybody. Adrian Morjon, 2 innings, 2 hits, 3 runs, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts. Craig Stammen went 2/3, gave up a run. Lou Patino went 2/3, gave up a run. Actually, Stammen came up 3 runs. Then Tim Hill went 2/3. Dan Altavilla went 1. Matt Strong went 2/3. Then Austin Adams went a third. Emilio Pagan went 1. Drew Pomeranz got a third. Garrett Richards 2/3. And then Trevor Rosenthal 1 and gave up 4 runs in what could have been his final outing as a member of the San Diego Padres. Tonight, 7 o'clock, TBS, you have the Yankees and the Rays. Garrett Cole, Tyler Glasnow are your starters for game number 5. Cole going on 4 days rest. Glasnow stunningly going on 2 days rest. I think they liked Glasnow with all those strikeouts. But I think this is ballsy by the Rays. 2 days rest? He probably is only going 2 or 3 innings. Yanks are a minus 152 favorite. Rays are plus 132. Over under 7. The juice is to the over minus 122. Unders plus 100. Yanks run line minus 1.5 is plus 118. Rays run line minus 138 at plus 1.5. This is such a hard call. I'm definitely going to consider the over. If it goes up to 7.5, that's when I'm going to pull the trigger on it. I'm going to take the Yankees here. I took the Yankees in 5 for the series. And that was because of the idea of Garrett Cole going on short rest. Little did I know that the Rays are going to go Glasnow, but I think it's ballsy. I won't be surprised if there's a scenario that Glasnow lets up a leadoff single to DJ LeMahieu, followed by a 2-run shot by Aaron Judge, and that'll set the tone, similar to Shane Bieber in Game 1 in the Indian series. So I won't be surprised if that happens. So give me the Yankees here. I'm going to say they win this game by a score of, let's say, 6-3. I'm going to say Cole goes 5, gives up 2. And then they go the Chad Green, Adam Ottavino, Jonathan Holder, Aroldis Chapman, Zach Britton do the mix and match games. So give me the Yankees to advance to the ALCS for the 2nd straight year and for the 3rd time in 4 years to play, yet again, the Houston Astros. The LCS is supposed to start on Sunday. Since I picked the Yankees to win, I'm going to start with the what if the Yankees win. I think the Yankees win in an Astros series. I'm going to say in 5 because the Astros, Zach Greinke's not 100%. No Justin Verlander there. I won't be shocked if the bullpen starts to, falter a little bit with guys like Christian Javier and those types of dudes. Lance McCullers wasn't that good the other day. I think the Astros have been bailed out by their offense several times. And I think it's a matter of when, not if their bullpen collapses. And then if it's the Rays, I'm going to say the Rays in either 5 or 6. I'm going to say 5 as well. The case for the Rays is pretty similar. I don't like the Astros bullpen. I think the Rays offense has been pretty good in the postseason with the exception of games 1 and 5 in this Yankees series and game 1 against the Blue Jays because that was only a 3-1. So I'm going to say the winner of tonight's game in 5 over the Astros in the ALCS. And then the NLCS, I believe, begins on Monday. Or it might Yeah, game 1 starts Monday. So I'm going to pick the NLCS on the podcast on Monday. Now we'll do NBA Finals. Game number 5 tonight between the Lakers and the Heat. It should be a lot of fun. The Lakers obviously a win away from the title. They're wearing the Black Mamba jerseys tonight to honor the late, great Kobe Bryant, which I think is fitting. I thought the whole time that, probably since Kobe passed away, it kind of dawned on me they're going to win the title. They're going to do it for him. This is their way of honoring him. It's meant to be. The Heat, meanwhile, they're a great team. Fun story. They should be proud that they're in this position in the first place. Jimmy Butler has been amazing throughout the playoffs and especially in Game 3 of the finals to single-handedly carry them over the shorthanded Heat. Bam Adebayo is back in this series. Goran Dragic is doubtful, so I would make this game Lakers by 6. It's Lakers by 7. Total 216. I like Miami getting the points. I know it's only a 1-point edge. And I also, the total is down to 216. I think that the Lakers are going to try hard defensively, and same for the Heat. I actually think the Heat are going to force a Game 6. I just glowed about the Lakers, and I actually think that the Heat are going to force a Game 6. And then that would bring us to a Game 6 for Sunday night, 7:30 ABC. The Lakers would be, in theory, a 4-point favorite in that game, and I think the Lakers close out in 6 and win their first NBA championship in 10 years, and LeBron James will be your finals MVP. So I think the Heat win tonight, but the Lakers win on Sunday, and we'll be talking about a Lakers championship on Monday's podcast, and obviously we'll do a postmortem for the Heat, or we'll be talking about a Game 7. You never know, but I'm going to say that the Lakers end it on Sunday night. Now I'm going to go over to college football from yesterday and look ahead to today and the weekend. Houston, in their first game of the season, come out and defeat Tulane by a score of 49-31 as they are 1-0. Tulane's 2-2. Clayton Tune, 20-33, 319 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 2 picks. He really turned it around after a rocky start to the game. And then Michael Pratt, 11-25, 141 yards, and a touchdown. All right, so tonight you have Louisville, Georgia Tech, 7 o'clock on ESPN. Louisville is favored by 5.5, and I project Louisville by 5.5 as well. So I have to go to the total for a play in this game. And I'm going to take the over 63.5. Actually went up to 65.5, stunningly enough. And I'll still take that. I think both these teams can score. Should be a fun game. I'm going to say Louisville wins, but my play here over 65.5. All right, Saturday, 12 o'clock, ESPN, Florida, Texas A&M. Florida's favorite by 6.5, over under 58.5. I would make Florida a 2-point favorite. So I'm going to take the Aggies plus the 6.5. I'm going to say the Gators win by 3. And Kyle Trask will barely outplay Kellen Mond. Louisiana Monroe Liberty in the 12 o'clock window. Liberty's giving 18.5. Over under 16.5. I would make Liberty favored in the game by 13. So I'm going to take UL Monroe getting the points. I've been on Liberty most of the year. So far, I think they're overvalued here. I think Liberty covers, obviously. And LSU and Missouri. LSU giving 15.5 over under 54.5. I'm taking Missouri in the 15.5. I project LSU by 5 because of the move to Missouri. I think LSU wins, though, but Missouri stays within the number. NC State, Virginia. Virginia's favored by 7.5 over under 59.5. I actually project NC State by 3. So this is the second week in a row where I'm going to take NC State getting points and on the money line. So give me NC State plus 7.5 and plus 245 on the money line, and I think they win the game outright. South Carolina at Vanderbilt. SC's giving 12.5 over under 41.5. I project South Carolina by 3. So I'm taking Vandy and the 12.5 here. I just think they stay within the number, but obviously Will Muschamp and the Gamecocks will get the win. Red River rivalry, Texas and Oklahoma. Oklahoma by 2.5 over under 72.5. I project Oklahoma as only a 1-point favorite. I'm going to go over 72.5 here. I think this is obviously a game that I think will be played into the 80s like it always is. And I think that Oklahoma will finally get off the shine and get the win, but barely. Virginia Tech and North Carolina. UNC's favored by 3.5 over under 59.5. I'd make UNC by 2. So I'm going to go over 59.5 here. I think this game is played well into the 60s. I think it's a shootout. I think that Sam Howell will lead the Tar Heels to a close victory. 12:30 Duke Syracuse. Duke's favored by only a half over under 52.5. I'm taking Syracuse here. I have Syracuse projected 14.5. So I think this is a steal. I'd take minus 106 on the money line as well. It looks like the Duke's going to move up to -1. But I'm taking Syracuse here to pretty much just win. 130 Citadel Army. Army's favorite 29.5 over under 46.5. I'd make Army 26.5. My play for the show is going to be under 46.5. I just think that Army is going to continue to do the run and gun thing. I'm going to say that they win this game like 36-9 or something like that, and that barely is the under. And I think the Citadel will cover 29.5 as well. But the podcast play going to be a little cute and pick the under 46.5. Mercer and Jacksonville State is an FCS game that's being played at 3. Jacksonville State 3.5 over under 59.5. I'm going to say that the under is quite intriguing in that game. Obviously, it's just for fun picking FCS. I'll get more into that next week probably, but I'm going to say under in that game, but Jacksonville State wins. Central Arkansas and Arkansas State. Arkansas State's giving 15.5 over under 62.5. I'd make Arkansas State 20.5. I'm going to lay it at 15.5 with Arkansas State here. Get right spot after the loss to Coastal Carolina. The big CBS game, Tennessee, Georgia. Georgia's favored by 12.5 over under 43.5. I'd make Georgia 13. So I'm going to go over 43.5. I think Tennessee's quarterback has made some improvements this year. I think we see JT Daniels in this game for once. And I think that this game could be played into the 50s. So give me over 43.5 for Tennessee, Georgia. Texas State, Troy. Troy's favored by 7.5 over under 59.5. I'd make Troy by 13. So I'm going to lay the 7.5 with the Troy Trojans here against an overvalued Bobcats team. Texas Tech, Iowa State. Iowa State's favored by 12.5 over under 63.5. I would make the Cyclones 14.5. So 2-point edge. And I'm going to lay it with the Cyclones. As my play for the show, I think they cover the number. I'm fearing the back door, though. I also like over 63.5, but I'm going to take the chance here with the Clones laying the 12.5. UTSA, BYU. BYU is favored by a ridiculous 34.5 over under 62.5. My numbers just don't like BYU. They've been killing everybody. I only have them projected here by 10.5, so I'm taking the Roadrunners here, plus all the points. I think BYU will win, but UTSA will stay within the number. 4 o'clock, Arkansas, Auburn. Auburn's giving 13.5 over under 46.5. I'd make Auburn 10. So I'm going to take the Razorbacks getting the 13.5. I know everyone's to say letdown spot. They're right. But maybe Arkansas backdoors them. I do expect Bo Nix and Auburn to get it done. But I think Arkansas could backdoor them. Kansas State and TCU. TCU's laying 7.5 over under 50.5. I make this TCU by 9. So I'm going to lay the 7.5 of TCU here. Do I feel good about it? No. So I'm going to take a chance here and lay 7.5 points with the Horned Frogs. I know everyone's saying letdown because they beat Texas. But Kansas State's been on a roll. I get that. And they're always the sexy underdog everybody loves. But give me TCU minus 7.5. I'm going to be a little contrarian here. Middle Tennessee, FIU. FIU's giving 4.5 over under 56.5. I would make FIU a 6-point favorite. So I'm going to lay the 4.5 with FIU. I also like over 56.5 as well. Pitt, Boston College. Pitt's laying 5.5 over under 43.5. I love Boston College getting the 5.5. I'd make BC a 3-point favorite here at home. So give me plus 5.5 and plus 205 on the money line. So give me BC to win straight up. Temple, Navy at 6 o'clock. Temple's giving 3.5 in their first game over under 50.5. I'd make this actually Navy by 7.5. I'm taking Navy plus 3.5, and I'm taking plus 142 on the money line as well. And it looks like this is headed to 3. East Carolina, South Florida. South Florida's giving 4.5 over under 55.5. I would make this USF by 1.5. So I have a 3-point edge on East Carolina, but I like over 55.5 better. I think this is a game that's played well into the 60s, and I do think that ECU will cover the 4.5, although I expect the Bulls to get the W. 7:30 Alabama, Ole Miss. Bama's giving 23.5 over under 69.5. I project Bama by 12.5. I love Ole Miss getting the points. I think this is a shootout. If Bama wins by 20, I win the bet. So I'm taking Ole Miss plus the 23.5. I like over 69.5 as well. Florida State, Notre Dame. Notre Dame's giving 21.5 over under 53.5. So this is Notre Dame's first game back from their COVID thing. I like the Seminoles getting all those points. I expect Notre Dame to win, but I just think Florida State stays within a number. I project Notre Dame by 12 here. Marshall, Western Kentucky. Marshall's giving 7.5 over under 44.5. I project Marshall by 1.5, so I'm taking Western Kentucky plus the 7.5. I think Marshall will win, but Western Kentucky will cover. It looks like this is going to go down to 7, so give me Western Kentucky plus the 7.5. The big game on ABC, Miami, Clemson. Clemson's giving 14.5 over under 62.5. I project Clemson by 15, so a half-point differential. I like the over. I think this game plays into the 70s. De'Ara King really has changed this Canes offense. So I think this is a shootout. I'm going to say that Clemson wins this game like 49 to like 38 or something like that. So give me over 62.5, and I think that could be done in the third quarter. Mississippi State and Kentucky. Kentucky giving 2.5 over under 57.5. I'm taking Mississippi State getting the points. I like them to win, so give me them on the money line as well. It's like over 57.5, but I like the Bulldogs better. Bounce back spot after the loss to Arkansas. I think they win the game outright. I project Mississippi State actually a half-point favorite. So give me Mississippi State here to get it done on the road. UTEP, Louisiana Tech. La Tech's favored by 14.5 over under 51.5. I project La Tech 12.5. So I have a little edge on UTEP. But I'm going to take over 51.5. I think that this is a shootout, and I could see this game being like 35-24. Last but not least, 8 o'clock, Charlotte, North Texas. North Texas is getting 2.5. Over under 69.5. So Charlotte's a 2.5-point favorite. I love North Texas. I think they win the game outright, plus 124 on the money line. So give me North Texas plus 2.5. This looks like it's about to go up to 3. So give me North Texas plus 2.5, and I think they win the game outright on the field in what should be a fun game on Saturday night. Now I'm going to do NFL, go over that game from last night, and I'll give you my picks for what is a pretty hard week number 5 to predict. The Bears beat the Bucks last night by a score of 20-19. Bears 4-1, Bucks 3-2. Nick Foles 30 of 42, 243 yards, a touchdown. The pick. Tom Brady 25 of 41, 253 yards and a touchdown. Bucks got off to the fast start, and Chicago came from behind. And they just, in the second half, slowed it down. There's been a lot of field goals. So now Nick Foles 2-0 against Tom Brady, including that Super Bowl from a couple of years ago. So now we'll look ahead to Sunday. Should be a fun Sunday. There's a lot of games that got moved to Monday. We'll do those games on the podcast on Monday and Tuesday respectively. And we'll talk about those games being moved in a couple minutes. Arizona Cardinals, New York Jets. Cardinals giving 7 over under 47.5. I love the Cardinals laying the 7. No Sam Darnold. So Joe Flacco's starting. I think Joe Flacco stinks at this point in his career. This is a good bounce back spot for Kyler Murray in that offense. So give me -7 for the Cardinals in this game against the New York Football Jets. Next up, you have the Panthers and the Falcons. Falcons giving 1.5 over under 53.5. Falcons, a ton of injuries. Panthers don't have Christian McCaffrey. Calvin Ridley and Julio Jones, questionable for the game. I think they both play. I love Atlanta -1.5. I think this is going to be their first win. I think Carolina's defense is Swiss cheese. I also like over 53.5 as well. So give me the Falcons -1.5 in that one. Bengals, Ravens. Ravens giving 12.5 over under 50.5. I should like the Bengals getting the points. I think that Burrow backdoors the Ravens. So give me Bengals plus 12.5, and I'm going to say that the Ravens win this game. I'm going to say the Ravens win by 10. I don't know about an exact score, but I'm going to say they win by like 10. Then you have the Jaguars and the Texans. Texans giving 5.5 over under 54.5. I project the Texans by 5. I absolutely love the under in this game. I think this is a lower scoring game than you think. I could see the world where the Texans run the ball, milk a lot of clock. First game without Bill O'Brien. I'm going to say the Texans win like 26-20. Then you have the Raiders and the Chiefs. Chiefs giving 11.5 over under 55.5. I make this game Chiefs by 11. So the Raiders are getting some money here. There must be an injury on Kansas City that I'm unaware of. But I only have a half-point differential. I love the over 55.5 in this game. I'm going to say that this is a shootout. I'm going to say that the Chiefs win around that number. Then you have the Rams and the football team of Washington. Rams giving 7 over under 46.5. I'd make this game Rams 6. Kyle Allen instead of Dwayne Haskins. I'm going to take the Washington professional football team getting the 7. I don't feel good about it because I project the total to be around 46.5 as well. So give me the Washington professional football team plus the 7. Eagles, Steelers. Eagles getting 7 over under 44.5. I love the Eagles in the points. I just think they stay within the number. I do expect Pittsburgh to win. I'm going to say Pittsburgh wins by 4. In the 4 o'clock window, Miami at San Francisco. San Fran's giving 8.5 over under 51.5. It looks like Jimmy Garoppolo will be back for the 49ers as well as Raheem Mostert. I project the Niners to be 8. I like under 51.5. I think that it's a lower scoring game. I think the Niners defense can hold Miami and Ryan Fitzpatrick in check. I think San Fran wins, but I like the under better. 425 Colts Browns. Colts giving 1.5 over under 46.5. I project Colts by a half. I absolutely love the over. Love it. I'm going to say that the Colts win. I'm going to say 31-30. I'm going to say it's a shootout. And the rookie kicker, Blankenship, gets it done for the Colts. Cowboys, Giants. Cowboys laying 8.5 over under 54. I absolutely love the Dallas Cowboys. I project them by 11. Like, why are the Cowboys only giving single digits to the Giants? Because they're 1-3? I mean, yeah, they should be 1-3 because they should have beaten the Rams but lost to the Falcons. They're in a close game against the Seahawks, and they are a crazy Odell Beckham score away maybe from stealing that game too. I'm going to say the Cowboys win by double digits. I'm going to say 35-24. I think that the Giant offense is going to be better than it's been the first couple weeks because of how pitiful the Cowboy D is. So, give me the Cowboys minus 8.5 and watch me a high-scoring game in Big D. Sunday Night Football, the Vikings hosting the Seahawks. Seahawks are laying 7 over under 56.5. So I absolutely love the Minnesota Vikings getting the 7. I project Seahawks by 1.5. Danielle Hunter possibly back for Mini. So give me the Vikings plus 7. I think Seattle wins, though. Monday Night Football, Chargers Saints. We'll get to that, obviously, on Monday night as well as Denver, New England. And obviously going over everything that happens on Sunday. And speaking of which, let's just get right into that. So, lottery scheduling for this week. And there's good news. No positives this morning for both the Titans and the Patriots. Means that their games now are on track to be played. So that is very good news. So Monday night against the Broncos is the Patriots host them 5 o'clock on ESPN. And then on Monday Night Football is now a doubleheader. And then the Titans-Bills will be played on Tuesday. So those games are postponed to Monday and Tuesday. And then there's no Thursday Night Football next week as the Bills-Chiefs game will be moved from Sunday night to Sunday. So we're going to have the full Sunday slate plus Monday Night Football. So that is obviously very good news that there are negatives for the Titans today and for the Patriots as well. Now the question is, with Denver, is Drew Lock back? Are any of the other weapons back? Is Cam Newton back for New England? We'll obviously preview and predict that game as well as Chargers Saints on the podcast on Monday. So excellent news in the NFL this morning with the negatives for the Patriots and the Titans. Now we will talk about NHL free agency, which begins today at noon. Obviously, it's a big deal. A lot of big-name free agents. I'm going to go over the list of free agents, the top 20 of them, according to Sportsnet. Alex Pietrangelo is the best free agent. He's very good. Him and the Blues cannot agree to terms on a contract extension yet, so it looks like that Pietrangelo is going to hit the open market. He prefers to re-sign with the Blues, but I think he's more likely to walk and sign elsewhere. Destinations, possibly maybe the Red Wings, who need a defenseman. Boston, who could lose Torrey Krug. The New Jersey Devils. The Buffalo Sabres, maybe. I think Chicago would be interesting. Maybe Vegas, Colorado, Dallas, Washington, Pittsburgh. But yeah, I think there's a lot of options for Pietrangelo. Taylor Hall. The Coyotes wanted to trade his rights away to get some value for him. Obviously, it did not really work out for him in Arizona. As that trade looks bad for them. They gave up a first rounder for him, and obviously he's going to hit the open market. Be funny if he went back to the Devils, right? But I doubt that. I think the Islanders could be in play for him. Columbus, Colorado, I heard. And that'd be really fun, him on Colorado as a second liner. I think that's very, very enticing. Dallas, maybe one of the other rebuilding teams like a Kings or a Ducks maybe, or San Jose. Torrey Krug, I don't think that he'll be back in Boston. Everyone's connecting him with Detroit. Justin Abelkader was bought out. Madison Bowie, Chris N, and Brendan Perlini all RFAs. They're now unqualified. And then a couple UFAs that they have. So I think that the Red Wings are in play for Krug. Maybe Buffalo. Maybe he does go back to Boston. You never know. Maybe the Rangers or somebody like that if they don't come to agree with Tony DeAngelo. It's funny. Krug and DeAngelo, I think, are similar players, although I think Krug's a better defensive player than Tony DeAngelo. Maybe New Jersey. Maybe somebody like Montreal. But you never know. Tyson Barrie is a free agent. Maybe Edmonton, Calgary. Be funny if Colorado, if they brought him back. But yeah, that was another trade that really didn't work out for the Leafs. But Tyson Barrie, I could see going to Edmonton. I'm going to say that Krug goes to the Red Wings. I think that Alex Pietrangelo walks. I'm going to say he goes. Why do I feel like he's going to go to the New Jersey Devils? Or something like that. And then Taylor Hall, I'm going to say lands. That's a good one. I'm going to say Taylor Hall goes. Why not the Dallas? Tyler Seguin and Roope Hintz are getting surgery. They need somebody. I'm going to go bold and say Taylor Hall goes to the reigning Western champion Dallas Stars. Jacob Markstrom's a free agent. I'm going to say he lands with, let's say, the Chicago Blackhawks. They're obviously not bringing back Corey Crawford. I think that Calgary wants to bring back Cam Talbot. Maybe he goes to Edmonton. But I'm going to say Markstrom goes to the Chicago Blackhawks. Mike Hoffman, winger, someone that I feel like has bounced around way too much. I'm going to say Hoffman goes to the Avalanche. They need like secondhand scoring. Won't be shocked if he goes to like New Jersey or the Red Wings or Ottawa or something like that. Braden Holtby's a free agent. I don't think he goes back to Washington. I'm going to say that Holtby ends up with the Oilers. Evgeny Dadonov, I can't believe he's a free agent. Over 130 points in the last 2 years. Sneaky good free agent. I'm going to say that Dadonov ends up with the Canadiens. They need some scoring help on the wing. Tyler Toffoli. He was a big help for Vancouver in their run. I'm going to say that Toffoli, that's a good one. Let's say Toffoli ends up with, that's a good one. I'm going to say he ends up in Detroit too. I think that they need some scoring. Mikael Granlund, versatile forward. He's obviously not going back to the Predators. I'm going to say that Granlund goes to the Florida Panthers. TJ Brody. Someone that's open to staying to Calgary. I'm going to say he walks. I'm going to say he ends up with... I could see Brody ending up with a team like, I'm going to say the Blackhawks. They could use some D help. Antoine Khudobin, the darling of the playoffs who led them to the Stanley Cup final. I'm going to say he goes back to Dallas. Oh wait, Jim Nill said he priced his way out of Dallas. Maybe he goes to Vancouver and replaces Markstrom. I'm going to say he goes to the Canucks. Kyle Turris got bought out. That's crazy. That was a bad extension by Nashville. So obviously he has to go somewhere to rebuild his value a little bit. I could see like the New York Rangers or somebody like that taking a chance on Kyle Turris as like a second or third center. And maybe they bank on Filipino making that jump to the 2C this year. That's a tough one. Like I said, that's a good call to the Rangers. I'm going to say the Maple Leafs. They could use a number 3 center that's sort of overqualified. Kevin Shattenkirk. Obviously, made himself a good free agent by a good playoff. I'm going to say that he returns to the Bolts. I don't feel good about it. Travis Hamonic. I'm going to say he goes to Winnipeg. Corey Crawford, I don't think he's going back to Chicago. I could see him going to the Hurricanes. Because I feel like all the ex-Blackhawks go to the Hurricanes. So I'm going to say he goes there. Ilya Kovalchuk, I'm going to say that he goes back to Washington. Although I won't be shocked if he ends up back with the Canadiens. Eric Halla, good versatile forward. I think he might end up with Montreal. I think that's a good call. Wayne Simmons, good bounce back candidate. I'm going to say he ends up on the Sharks or somebody like that to try to rebuild his value. Jesper Fast, New York Rangers. I don't think New York re-signs him. I think that there's a chance somebody overpays him. I'm going to say he ends up staying in the Metro Division. I won't be shocked if he reunites with Alain Vigneault in Philly. I'm going to say he goes to his other former coach, John Tortorella. I'm going to say he goes to Columbus. Another notable free agents, Anthony DeClaire, Sami Vatanen, Craig Smith, Bobby Ryan, Chris Tanev, Joe Lorton, Zdeno Chara, Chris Tanev, Alex Galchenyuk, Thomas Greiss, Cody Eakin, Cody Ceci, Justin Schultz, Michael Frolik, Vlad Nemestikov, Eric Gustafson, Pat Maroon, Zach Bogosian, Kyle Clifford, Radko Gudas, Justin Williams, who retired, Mikko Koivu, Carl Soderberg, Brad Richardson, Derek Grant, Tyler Pittick, Nate Thompson, Henrik Lundqvist, Jimmy Vesey. So it's going to be interesting to see all these guys go. I'm intrigued for Henrik Lundqvist. I know there are rumors that he might sign with the Capitals. That would really be sticking it to the Rangers, I would say. So I think that's a good one to keep an eye out for if that possibly happens. Now we'll talk NASCAR. We got 3 races this weekend, which all should be fun. First, we will talk about the Xfinity race. I'm sorry, we have 2 races. And they were both from Charlotte. So we'll start Xfinity with the starting lineup. Your pole sitter is Noah Gragson. Then you got Justin Haley, Daniel Hemrick, Brandon Jones, Ross Chaston, Ryan Sieg, Brandon Brown, Chase Briscoe, Harrison Burton, Justin Allgaier, Austin Cindric, Kaz Gralla, Riley Herbst, Michael Annett, Josh Williams, Alex Labbe, Tommy Joe Martin, Jeremy Clement, Brett Moffitt, Timmy Hill, Matt Snyder, AJ Allmendinger, Matt Mills, Jade Buford, Ryan Vargas, Jeffrey Earnhardt, Austin Hill, Stephen Licht, BJ McLeod, Preston Pardis, Joe Graff Jr., Josh Balicki, Greg Goldling, Cody Vanderwall, Kyle Weatherman, CJ McLaughlin, Jesse Little, and Cody Ware. I'm going to pull up DraftKings odds for the race because DraftKings, I think, has better NASCAR odds than FanDuel. Should be a fun race. Obviously, into their postseason. I'm going to pick... I'm going to go Ross Chaston, 16-1. I think that's good value. He's starting in 5th. For him to finish in the top 3, he's only 3-1. So give me Noah Gragson the win. The drive for the cure, 250 tomorrow afternoon. And Sunday afternoon, you have Cup Series from Charlotte, a rare day race in Charlotte. Denny Hamlin, Chase Elliott, Brad Keselowski, Kevin Harvick, Alec Bowman, Austin Dillon, Martin Truex Jr., Joey Logano, Kyle Busch, Kurt Busch, Clint Boyer, Eric Almirola, William Byron, Eric Jones, Ryan Newman, Tyler Riddick, Ty Dillon, Ryan Preece, John Hunter, Nemechek, Matt DiBenedetto, Chris Bouchard, Brendan Poole, Matt Kenseth, Ryan Blaney, Quinn Houff, Bubba Wallace, Timmy Hill, Cole Custer, Joey Gase, Jimmy Johnson, Michael McDowell, Corey LaJoie, J.J. Yealy, Daniel Suarez, Chris Bell, Greg Goldling, James Davison, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. I am going to go for the Bank of America Roval 400. This is tough. There's some good value with a lot of these guys here. Even Kevin Harvick at 8-1 is valuable. And obviously this is the the playoff. And obviously, the drivers that are currently in the field, it's down to 12. Eric Almirola, Cole Custer, Austin Dillon, Will Byron, Alec Bowman, Ryan Blaney, Martin Truex Jr., Chase Elliott, Joey Logano, Brad Keselowski, Denny Hamlin, and of course Kevin Harvick. I'm going to go with Brad Keselowski, 15-1. He races well at this track. He is starting in third, so I think he's going to have a good race here and get the win. So give me Brad Keselowski, 15-1 to win the Roval 400 from Charlotte. Best bet and Fab 5 time. We'll start with the Fab 5, and we'll start in college football. First one, NC State getting 7.5 against, not Pitt. That was last week. Virginia. I think they win the game on the field, too. No, this is not my money line pick of the week. But I think that they win the game outright. And I think Virginia's overvalued. So give me NC State plus a 7.5 on the road. Syracuse getting the half against Duke. And it's about to be a pick'em. Or Duke by 1. So, give me... So it is pretty much a pick'em right now. Or borderline pick'em. Syracuse minus 106 and plus 1.5 against Duke. Navy getting 3.5 at home against Temple. Temple's not played yet this year. I know it came back to bite me in the ass yesterday with taking Tulane against Houston. I'm going to say Navy plus 3.5, and then I think they win the game on the field too. So give me Navy plus 3.5 against Temple. And Western Kentucky getting 7.5 at home against Marshall is something I thought about, but I'm going to change it to Troy, who's laying 7.5 at home against Texas State. So I'm going to change that one. And I feel pretty good about it because I think that Western Kentucky line is going to drop to 7. Although I think that the Troy line could drop to 7 too. But I think Troy is very valuable at 7.5 right now. And last but not least, Boston College getting 5.5 at home against the Panthers of Pitt. And I like them on the money line plus 205 as well as my money line pick of the week. So Boston College getting 5.5 is the last of the Fab 5, and my money line pick of the week this week for college football, Boston College plus 205 against Pitt. Now to the NFL. Fab 5. Cardinals minus 7 against the Jets. No Sam Darnold. And I think that this is the perfect bounce back spot for the Cardinals. And I think they'll win this game going away. Jacksonville, Houston under 54.5. I feel pretty good about this one. I think that there's a chance that J.J. Watt is a big game and makes Gardner Minshew look like a pumpkin. So I'm going to say under 54.5, and I think the Texans will get the win under Romeo Crennel in his debut. Colts, Browns over 46.5. I think this is a shootout. I think that Phillip Rivers has a good game. Baker Mayfield has a big game. And there's going to be a ton of points in this game. Cowboys minus 8.5 against the Giants. I think this is a play that I think is going to be popular. The Giants are obviously 0-4. Cowboys 1-3. I I think that the home field advantage will matter here. There's fans in the stands, although I won't be shocked if there's Giants fans too. But I'm going to say the Cowboys win and cover easily against the New York Football Giants. And the Minnesota Vikings getting 7 against the Seattle Seahawks. I love it. I think Minnesota hangs around, but ultimately I think they stay within the number and Seattle gets the close win. And then my money line of the pick of the week is to be determined, possibly for Monday or Tuesday. So that's it for the show today. I'll be back on Monday recapping the weekend. It will be in the NFL, college football, Major League Baseball, NBA, NHL free agency, NASCAR, and obviously I'll have a best bet for you on Monday as well. Hope you guys have a great day, everybody, and weekend.